All right, folks, I've had enough. Can't take it anymore. I've called all these shows on Sirius XM, Patriot Channel, Breitbart, David Webb, Andrew Wilkow, who else? Mark Levin, Sean Hannity, whatever, and Stacey Washington. Nobody cares. They all say they care. They all talk about the Constitution. They all talk about this, that, and the other thing, and they've all got the answer. None of them have the answer. I'm no particularly smart guy. I'm a dumb truck driver, right? But, if I can find it, what do I do? I don't need to be a smart guy. I just need to be able to read and have a copy of this. Can you read it? The Constitution of the United States of America. That's all you need. It was written for us, written for dummies like me, written for dummies like you. I don't know, are you a dummy? We have a problem. We are not represented by a legitimate government. What's that you say, Kevin? Read it. Just gonna show it to you right there. If you look right there, let me see where I'll put my finger where you need to read. Hang on a second. I should have been better prepared. As you can see, I read this Constitution. It's not just something I carry around to be cool. It's something I carry around so whenever some idiot wants to tell me that's not in it or that's in it, I can hand it to him and say, here, show me. All right. Right there where my thumb is. I don't know if I'm that. The number of representatives shall not exceed 1 for every 30,000 people. Do you understand what that means? That means 435 times 30,000 equals what? A lot less than 300 million people. Our representatives don't represent us effectively. We are not represented in Washington. There is no constitutional amendment that changed the apportionment clause of the Constitution. There's an apportionment act, multiple ones by Congress, the latest one in 1929 where they capped the number of representatives at 435. So they created these little fiefdoms because right now, if you do the math, every representative represents over 600,000 people. Do you see the problem? You're 1 in 600,000 with your representative, not 1 in 30,000. All this gerrymandering they talk about, it has to be the Constitution. We are going to hell at light speed right now because nobody gives a damn about the Constitution. Everybody talks about the Constitution. Everybody says we need to be about it until it's time to actually do constitutional things. And then, wait, we need to do this. Who's going to do that? It doesn't matter who's going to do it. Do you understand? We were founded on self-governance, independence, liberty, freedom. I didn't name my dog Freedom because I thought it sounded cool, or I like screaming freedom like, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Oh, Mel Gibson in Braveheart. I'm serious about it. I started driving a truck because I love freedom. But I'm not free in this truck. You have no idea. I'm told everything to do. Not by the people that I work for, by the government. When I sleep, when I don't sleep, when I drive, when I don't drive, when I'm tired, when I'm not tired. Regardless of if I'm tired or not, regardless of if I'm sleepy or not. When the clock starts, I got to do what the clock says. But you got to get about this Constitution, people. We are being played. They're screwing us over. You cannot, I don't care what it is, what government program you like. If it violates the Constitution, it's not right. If it's that big of a deal, if it's that important to the country, They put in a tool called Article 5. That's how you amend the Constitution. Either Congress proposes amendments to the Constitution. They're voted on by the states, and then voted on by the Congress 2/3, and then 3/4 of the states have to ratify it. The states can call Constitution Convention, and they can propose amendments, and you can bypass Congress. Congress has no say-so in it. Then it's just the states. If enough states recommend an amendment, then it goes to the states for ratification. It's a done deal. I don't know why we are all so scared of our government and our Constitution, but it's time. I'm holding it the wrong way. But it's time to stop being scared. That Samuel Adams quote: if you love your money, if you love your job more than you love your freedom, get out of here. You're not with me. Let history, we don't need anything from you, and we hope and he was kind of ruthless. He hoped history didn't even remember your name. That these guys, we're the greatest country in the history of the world. You understand? This nation was put together. We have to be virtuous, first of all. That's our biggest problem. We're not a virtuous people. We're all selfish, greedy. We think about just me. Because freedom and liberty isn't just me doing what I want to do. It's that you can't make me do what I don't want to do. You can't take money from me. I mean, charity. I help out people that are trying, right? That's what you want to do. You see somebody down on their luck, somebody lost their job, their house burned down. You want to go help them out, right? But that's not what the government does. The government takes money from you and gives it to people who aren't trying. You can be the biggest piece of shit in the world. The government doesn't care. They'll give you money because you deserve it. And they'll say that's the it's the general welfare clause of the Constitution. Well, you know what? The general welfare clause means it benefits all of us. You taking money from me and to give it some piece of shit down the road that doesn't want to work, that doesn't benefit me in any way. All it does is take money from me that I could give to somebody that actually needed it and deserved it. But you need to listen. We need about 1,000 representatives. If there were that many representatives, they wouldn't be passing all these goofy bills, trillions of dollars and all that. They'd be fighting too much. The founders were geniuses. They knew how to make this work. There's nothing wrong with this document. Nothing wrong with it. Read it. It's not that complicated. Most people didn't have a high education, a secondary education. A lot of people couldn't even read when this thing was written. They gathered in bars. They gathered in church. Well, they called them taverns and pubs. And the churches, the Black Robe Brigade, all priests and preachers, ministers in the churches, they got together and they read this document to the congregation. Or somebody stood up in the pub or in the town square and read this to the people that didn't have a copy of it or couldn't read it, so that everybody understood what their government was supposed to do and what their government couldn't do. Now then, you want government to do everything. No, there's 18 things. Only 18 things in here that the government can do. And none of them involve in making you a criminal. The FBI is just as illegitimate as almost every other federal agency. There are federal crimes in here. Treason, counterfeiting. What, and they had a emoluments clause that they try to get Trump on? Those are the federal crimes. They didn't want the government at that level to make criminals out of you and me, because they knew someday a group of people or the government itself would turn into what it is today. And now what does the government do? They don't prosecute criminals. They make criminals. They made a criminal out of Trump. They try to make a criminal out of anybody that doesn't want to bow to the government. I will not bend my knee to the government. I will bend my knee to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. The rest of them can kiss my ass. Wake up, people. Our country is done. It really is. I don't think there's any way. The only way it's going to survive, it's going to take a lot of bloodshed. I'm not saying we're going to fight. It's going to take a lot of innocent people dying, standing up for this document and their freedom. And if enough of us die, then the rest of them will wake up finally and say, oh, we're in trouble. But, it ain't going to, that's how it's going to happen. It's not going to happen at the ballot box because none of these people, y'all keep voting for people and nothing changes. The machine doesn't change. We keep putting new parts on the same old machine that makes the same crap. Wow, 10 minutes I've been yammering. I know it sounds like I'm rambling, but it's really simple. The answer is this. Read it. Call your congressman. Make a copy of the page where it say, hey, what made you a lord or a duke or an earl or whatever the hell, caste society that it is. Because that's what they are. And they don't want to give it up. They don't want to just represent 30,000 people. They want to represent 600,000 because that's where all the big money is. Quit voting for these millionaires. Quit voting for lawyers. Vote for a truck driver. Vote for a waitress in a cafe. Vote for the street sweeper. Vote for the town drunk. The town drunk would be better than what we have in Washington right now. I've had enough. Freedom's had enough. Freedom. Hey, freedom. You a good boy? All right, that's freedom. One day we'll have liberty, right? Next week. Anyway, I'm out here. I got to take a nap. The government said I'm tired. The government doesn't know how pissed I am. Read the Constitution. Please, please read the Constitution.